eminent Chancellor, President, proud parents, and board siblings. This is not about me, it is about the Rotman grads. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today to share in your great achievement. Congratulations on what you have accomplished. You and your families should be exceptionally proud of what you've done. You have earned it. Unlike me, my degree is a freebie. As the President just said, as University of Toronto graduates, you join 500,000 alumni from over 190 countries. It is an honor to be accepted into this highly diverse, enormously accomplished international community. Now, I missed my first chance to be a U of T grad when I left Canada in the 1980s. It was a different time. Trudeau was Prime Minister. How did that happen? A celebrity had just become US President. People around the world were watching royal weddings, and a nuclear peace deal had just been brokered. So, plus ça change. Now, I know after a few years, you probably had your fill of people lecturing you from a podium, and I'm tempted to take the advice of Madonna, who was big in my day, and Papa don't preach. But it's typical at a ceremony like this for someone like me to try to pass on some wisdom, experience, and some advice to all of you. And since Dominic Barton could only be here for a day, you're stuck with the blinkered worldview of a central banker. Now, one thing I can assure you about the future is that the road ahead will not be straight. It's entirely unrealistic, however tempting it might be, to map out in detail the decades ahead. As John Lennon said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. John Lennon was a member of the Beatles. And the Beatles were a British rock band that were big at the time. But anyways, whenever I meet, and since it's such a highly diverse and accomplished alumni community, I very often meet U of T graduates and alumni. And I often find they're surprised by where they've ended up. And I don't mean after a few too many at Einstein's. I mean those alumni who are old enough to remember the Beatles are often surprised by where their careers have taken them. And whether they're pleased about it depends on whether they've continued to pursue their interests, stayed true to their values, and given back to their communities. So in my experience, some simple decision rules for a changing world are to be flexible and adventurous in your career choices, particularly as you begin. Pick those opportunities that give you a chance to learn new things and to grow as a person, and to think of every job or opportunity as a potential investment in yourself, not only being worthwhile in and of itself, but also as an experience that will prepare you for the next opportunity that will come along, and many opportunities will come along to you as Rotman grads. In these ways, you'll build adaptability, you'll enjoy yourself, and as a consequence, you'll be more likely to succeed. And this is especially important because you're graduating into a world of tectonic shifts, from G7 to G20 to G0. From the third, it's sadly true. We had a good time at Whistler, didn't we, Tiff? Tiff and I were at Whistler G7 a few weeks ago. Whew. Only Charlevoix could trump that, I think, so to speak, trump that. Anyways, back to my prepared, there's a reason why I have prepared remarks, and I should stick to them. G7, G20, G0, from the third to the fourth industrial revolution, and as we all hope, from diversity to inclusion. The good news is that amidst all this change and uncertainty lies great opportunities for you as business graduates to build the new economic and social engines of our shared prosperity. Your generation will determine how well the world commercializes fundamental breakthroughs in areas such as energy tech, biotech, fintech, and beyond. Your generation will determine whether we maintain the necessary social capital for the shared prosperity that's consistent with the values of this university and this country. So as you go on to build your organizations or rise through organizations of others, I'd suggest you remember 3 P's: purpose, partnership, and perspective. Wherever you work, whatever firm or organization you create or lead, define your purpose and stick to it obsessively. Remember that true purpose, including that of business, must be grounded in the objectives of your clients, your society, and humanity. As John Kay observed, profit is no more the purpose of business than breathing is the purpose of living. In a world of diversity and division, partnerships will drive breakthroughs. Select your teams wisely and recognize that while diversity is a reality, inclusion is a choice, and I recommend you take it. And always try to maintain perspective. While you should always be able to marshal your facts, and as Rotman grads you will, you must also engage with people's intuitions and win their trust. And that means doing it through empathy, being open to dialogue, and remembering Henry Ford's advice that the secret of success is to see things from another person's point of view. And finally, the role of chance. When success comes, and I mean more success because you are all incredibly successful already, it'll be important for you to remember the role that chance plays in all of our lives and the responsibility that comes with good fortune. It is, after all, a total accident of history that I am Governor of the Bank of England. It was nice of you to applaud that. Many in the UK are still wondering how it happened and how much longer it's going to last. I had never set out to be a central banker. After studying economics, as Tiff mentioned, I worked as an investment banker, moving jobs every 18 to 24 months across 3 continents. I found the variety was very stimulating, but I also found that I most enjoyed working on issues where the public and private sectors intersected, from post-apartheid South Africa to pre-privatization Ontario. And so when the opportunity came up in 2003 to work at the Bank of England, or the Bank of Canada, I leapt at it. Fortunately, by pursuing what had interested me in the past, I'd acquired just enough markets and quasi-public policy experience to get through the bank's big brass doors. And there I learned from exceptional colleagues, including David Dodge and your Dean, Tiff Macklem. I was pleased to be able to give back something to this great country which had educated me, inspired me, and yes, given me my chance. As Tiff mentioned, the global financial crisis began almost immediately, and it put paid to the idea that central banking would mean a quiet life away from the sound and fury of the private sector. But through those harrowing years, I was privileged to learn from a remarkable group of people internationally, like Ben Bernanke and Christine Lagarde, on how to address complex problems under enormous uncertainty and great pressure. So for me, by following my passion, my interests, by partnering with exceptional people, I ended up being in the right place at the right time, and that's how I ended up at the Bank of England and in front of you today. As Michael Lewis once said, this isn't just false modesty. It's false modesty with a point. The point is we're all fortunate. My luck is obvious. You are fortunate to have studied at the University of Toronto. You are fortunate to be young in Canada at this time. You're fortunate to have had family, friends, and mentors who've obviously inspired you to learn and develop. And so from today, it's down to you to define your purpose and to deliver the future you want to create. With your energy and education, you will see what should come next. But that plan, like life's plan, won't unfold seamlessly. But as long as you stay true to your interests and values, as the University of Toronto motto states, Velut aber evo, you will grow in your careers with purpose as the tree grows through the ages. Thank you again for your attention. Congratulations, guys.